We are live in New York. This is where the Jays take on the Yankees tonight in Game 3 of the ALDS. They have a chance to sweep the series. CP24's Phil Perkins will join us.
We are also live outside the home of the Jays. We'll check in with how Toronto fans are feeling ahead of the big game.
And looking at other headlines, police make an arrest in 7 shootings targeting homes in Vaughan, Brampton, and London this summer. CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan has the latest.
The answer is no. Premier Doug Ford has responded to a letter from more than 20 mayors urging him to reconsider banning speed cameras.
This is Live at 5. I'm Bakari Savage. Welcome to Live at 5. Well, the Jays can clinch the ALDS tonight in New York, marking their first trip to the next round of the playoffs since 2015. Okay, so we have full team coverage. CP24's Beatrice Vaisman is outside the Rogers Center here at home, but down in New York, Phil Perkins is live at Yankee Stadium. And Arda, who would you say has the better job?
Don't put me on the spot. Okay, so I think that Beatrice is getting all of our energy ready, and she's handing it over to Phil. She's volleying it to him. So both of them, I would say.
Okay, Phil, take it away.
I mean, yeah, Beatrice she's closer to home, that's for sure. We're pulling in like an 18-hour day, but I'm not complaining because this is the city that never sleeps. We don't need to sleep. I got the playoff juices flowing through my veins right now. You can feel it when you get to Yankee Stadium. We got here last night. We're here this morning at 6:45. People in the area, but nonstop talking about this game, how the pressure is all on the Yankees right now. The Blue Jays sitting pretty. Teams that go up 2-0 in a best-of-5 series, they advance to the ALCS almost 90% of the time, and they're looking to do it with a pretty stacked lineup to go against Carlos Rodon. They have George Springer leading off as a designated hitter, Davis Schneider, who is a New Jersey guy, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Alejandro Kirk, we got Varsho, Clement, who had a home run in Sunday's massive lopsided victory for the Toronto Blue Jays, Anthony Santander, whose at-bats have been getting better and better every day, Isaiah Arcana-Falefa, and Andres Jimenez. And these guys have been getting comfortable here at Yankee Stadium. I mentioned all the guys that we saw at batting practice, including Davis Schneider, who I might add was deadlifting almost 400 pounds in the team training room before batting practice, but he, as well as Arcana-Falefa and okay, we see some guys who are not making the starting lineup who's doing the batting practice, including Addison Barger as well as Miles Straw. They are not going to be in this lineup, but guys like David Schneider, this means a lot to them. As I mentioned, he's a New Jersey guy. He spoke with the media earlier today. We also caught up with Arda's fellow Armenian, Tim Kirchkin, who is the ESPN veteran MLB reporter. Here's what both had to say about the game.
It's a cool experience. I mean, watching the Yankees, I grew up a Phillies fan, so watching the Yankees beat the Phillies in 2009 was, not the best, but, it's a great franchise to kind of play against. Obviously, to play for, it's probably awesome as well. But, they're the Yankees. They're one of the best teams in baseball, but it's just kind of cool to be here in this ballpark.
This is remarkable in this day and age. In 2 games, they have 8 homers and 7 strikeouts. That is impossible in this strikeout era for that to happen. But that's how good the Blue Jays have been with making contact and then hitting the ball out of the ballpark here and there. Plus, their pitching has been absolutely sensational. If Shane Bieber is as good as Kevin Gausman and Trey Yusevich, then this series is going to end.
Got a little giddy there. He's kind of almost like putting his Blue Jay hat on right there. Mr. Kirkton said, he was at the Rogers Center for Game 1 and Game 2, and he related the crowds there at the Rogers Center to back in the early 90s, guys, 92, 93, and we all know what happened at the end of those seasons. We brought home the World Series trophy in back-to-back years. That's how he says the energy was like at the Rogers Center. We're going to go out eventually after Live at 5, going to see if there are Blue Jay fans out there. We found 2 from Alberta. There should be more as we get closer to game time. Send it back to you guys.
Yes, it's feeling good. We're getting excited. Also, never question an Armenian. We know what we're talking about. He says we're going to win, so we're going to win.
I never question you, Arda. Yeah, if Arda tells me something, I'm like, absolutely, Arda, whatever you say. Whatever you say. Yeah, I had an Armenian Uber driver yesterday, Arda. I was telling you, and he was speeding through the city. I don't even think his eyes were open. Like, I thought I was in a NASCAR race or like an F1 race in Manhattan. It was the best. You just know. I trusted him. I'm like, do you know Arda?
Yes.
He's like, Arda, that's, yeah, I know. It's okay.
We know where we're going. We know what we're doing, and that means the Jays are going to win. So, sorry, everybody else. Thank you so much for this, Phil. We appreciate it. Phil reporting live from Yankee Stadium for us. Can't wait to check in with you again very soon. And Jays fans who can't make it to the Bronx to watch Game 3 at Yankee Stadium will be cheering on the Jays closer to home.
Okay, for that, let's check in with CP24's Beatrice Vaisman, who's outside of Rogers Center holding an umbrella. It's raining, but spirits are not dampened, right?
Yeah, the Blue Jays are going to make it rain with some more home runs over at Yankee Stadium. I bet there's going to be some Armenians there in the stands to cheer them on as well, because why not? And of course, here in the city, I mean, the feeling is just electric. Not only this past weekend, 44,000 strong inside the dome on their feet, cheering the Jays for every single hit, every successful strikeout, every home run, and every grand slam. That huge one by Vladdy Guerrero Jr., of course. But the energy in the city, you can just really feel it. I think Toronto sports fans are just firstly happy to see a sports team doing so well. As Phil was talking about, it's been some 10 years since the Jays were even in the playoffs. And now that they're doing not only in the playoffs, but actually kicking butt in the playoffs, they're up 2-0. They could very well get the brooms out tonight. But these guys are really gelling. It's the camaraderie. A lot of casual fans even tell me is what they're loving about this team. How much fun it is to watch these guys having that much fun on the field together, from the special blazer that goes on when a home run is hit, to the handshakes and little things the guys do together. I mean, really, it just speaks to the cohesiveness of this team, the camaraderie, and the way they just feel like they're being uplifted by not just the city, but the entire country. I mean, Phil's been meeting fans from Alberta out in New York. I've been meeting fans from Prince Edward Island and Newfoundland and Ottawa and from all around this province as well. Just really feeling as though this is not only Toronto's team, this is Canada's team, and they want the Blue Jays to know it. So here's a bit of some fan reaction that we've got outside the dome here this afternoon.
We've been big Blue Jays fans. We watch all the games, and we were there at the Rogers Center. It was awesome. And one thing that happened is that Kirk knew that she was in the stand, I'm sure, because he had 2 home runs. So I mean, she was in heaven.
Their bats came to life at the end of the season, which was really big for them. And Vladdy's finally hitting in the playoffs, which is really huge for his career, and this team needed that.
Right now, given the situation in the country and what we're experiencing, I think it's something that the country can kind of latch on to, and gives us something to cheer about. And when they're beating the Yankees, it's even better.
I mean, of course, the circumstances right now when it comes to tensions with the U.S. are just adding fuel to the fire, making fans even more excited, especially when they're spanking the Yankees. Hopefully they get another spanking on their own home turf in Yankee Stadium tonight. So first pitch, of course, as Phil's been talking about, it is 8:08 p.m. And you can imagine what Toronto's going to be like tonight. The rain is not going to keep the fans away. The bars will be full. The restaurants will be full. Anywhere that's got a TV will be broadcasting the Jays. You can be sure of that. And it's all about experiencing it all together. I mean, half of the fun of watching and enjoying these games is to be able to experience it with other people, strangers or friends. I mean, there's not much like hugging a stranger after a grand slam. So why not do it in a Toronto establishment? Support, one of the bars or restaurants here in the city, and let's watch the Blue Jays hopefully sweep the Yankees tonight.
All right, we love it. CP24's Beatrice Vaisman live outside of Rogers Center. It may be raining, but hey, that's just part of the fun, right? Okay, it's 5:09. Let's get a check on the evening commute with CP24's traffic specialist, Adjoa Ntia Bois.
Good afternoon, Bakari. And watching problems making for a pretty slow go if you're a travel taking on the northbound lanes of the 400. This is just as you head in the express through Highway 7. It is the two right lanes that are blocked following this collision. So the drive into Vaughan not looking too good. Really, really busy. The delays do extend from before Finch. Now headed towards the 401. The eastbound side still very jammed, starting from Dixie all the way to just east of the Don Valley Parkway. We had some problems in the express. They just cleared seconds ago, and still watching issues on the southbound lanes of the Don Valley Parkway. This is south of Eglinton. Crews dealing with a cleanup of a collision. Looks like just the emergency crews are on scene. Most of the vehicles have been cleared, but still a delay from before Shepherd on the 404. A heads up, Brant is still blocked at Fairview following that ongoing collision involving a pedestrian. Also, Harmony Road closed between Roslyn and Story out in Oshawa following a serious crash as well.
This CP24 traffic report is brought to you by 407 ETR. Enjoy the journey with a stress-free commute.
Adjoa, thank you. It's now 5:10 and 16 degrees. This is Live at 5.
And coming up, some GTA police services have increased their presence outside places of worship today for the second anniversary of the October 7th attack.
Welcome back. A man has life-threatening injuries and a suspect has been arrested in what police are describing as an unprovoked assault in Oshawa.
Emergency crews were called to the area of Ritson and Taunton. This is right around 5:30 yesterday evening. That's where they found the victim with traumatic injury. So police say that the man was crossing the street when the suspect attacked him from behind. 33-year-old Dwayne Wallen is charged with aggravated assault in connection with this incident.
And a pedestrian has been seriously injured after being struck by a vehicle in Burlington.
Halton police say that this happened at the intersection of Brant and Fairview right around 2:45. That was this afternoon. It's reported that a pickup truck hit the pedestrian. The driver of the truck's also being assessed by paramedics, but the state of their injuries not yet known.
An Innisfil man is now facing charges in 7 shootings targeting homes in the GTA and London this summer. Police say 125 shots were fired during these incidents.
Okay, let's go live to CP24's crime analyst, Steve Ryan, who is in a Vaughan neighborhood where the shots were fired. Steve, is this a part of the shootings that you've been covering?
I do believe a few of them might be, Bakari. We've covered several of them up here in Vaughan and throughout the GTA, sadly, over the last little while. But it's been some very good police work, this time by York Regional Police. They believe now they have connected one accused with 7 shootings throughout the GTA, and as Arda said, going as far west as London. So Kejan Isaiah Doman, 23 years old, is facing a variety of firearms charges, alleging that he shot at 7 different properties from August 17th until September 10th. September 10th was the last one police believe that he fired at, and that was here on Lady Angela Lane in Vaughan. The police were able to arrest him shortly after this shooting, and they recovered a firearm at the time. I'll get to how important that firearm was in connecting these 7 cases, but let's first hear from the detective sergeant who I spoke with earlier today up in York Regional Headquarters. Let's listen.
The investigation is still ongoing. We have arrested a lone offender. However, at this time, we do believe that there are other suspects who were involved in these incidents.
So once they had that firearm, they were able to have that examined by a ballistics expert. Every gun leaves a distinct impression on the cartridge that it discharges, just like a fingerprint. So with that firearm, they were able to examine the other 7 shootings from here to London, and they were able to connect them all to that same firearm. And all they have to prove now on reasonable grounds is that this 23-year-old accused was the person in possession of that firearm, and that's how they came to linking him to 7 shootings throughout southwestern Ontario for the most part. Let's go back to you guys.
Okay, CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan joining us from Vaughan. Well, today marks the second anniversary of the Hamas terror attack on Israel, which led to the start of the war, and also some GTA police services. They're increasing police patrols in certain areas because of the anniversary.
Toronto, Durham, and York Regional Police have all committed to ramping up patrols today. Toronto police say 3 command posts are also operating in the city along with marked vehicles in key neighborhoods. York police say they have increased patrols around synagogues and other places of worship in response to the anniversary of the October 7th attack.
We just want to show our sympathy and support by actively or proactively increasing the patrols surrounding the faith-based institutions, schools, and community centers. Again, we know our community members continue to experience stress and anxiety, and we just want to provide that reassurance that we do hear them, we do hear their concerns, and we are out there showing a presence in the community.
And flags at all city facilities in Vaughan, they've been lowered to half-mast in memory of those who were lost on October 7th. Right now it's 16 degrees. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24, live at 5.
Premier Doug Ford says the answer is no when it comes to changing his mind about speed cameras. We'll have more on his response to a plea from more than 20 Ontario mayors coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back. Premier Doug Ford has responded to a request for compromise on speed cameras with an emphatic no, saying his government is going ahead with the ban. With details and reaction, we're joined by CP24's Melissa Duggan on Parkside Drive. Melissa, what else can you tell us about this reaction?
Well, the answer from Premier Doug Ford here couldn't be more clear. He is saying no, he will not reconsider his plan to ban speed enforcement cameras across the province. He is saying that municipalities are going to scrap them once and for all. His response coming to a letter that was sent from the leaders of some 22 municipalities across the province, urging him to reconsider, saying getting rid of them, especially in school zones, would really reverse years of progress. They say that it would be detrimental to street safety. They also say that it would be a burden on policing as well. But the premier today saying, well, you know what? He thinks it's a cash grab. He thinks that these municipalities that want to keep them around, that they are being greedy. And no, they are going to be shown the door. Here's more from the premier.
I have an idea that we're putting forward that we're going to put traffic calming infrastructure, and that will bring it down to zero. Folks, Toronto has one speed camera that produced over 70,000 tickets and millions of dollars of income. Now, wouldn't you think, rather than sit there and collect all the money, because it is a cash grab off the taxpayers, wouldn't you think someone would come up with common sense and say, okay, we're putting speed bumps on Parkside Drive, we're putting turnabouts?
Yeah, so those are some of the kind of infrastructure ideas that Ford says would be more effective when it comes to getting people to slow down. But when you look at recent surveys by Sick Kids, by TMU, they say that these speed cameras are effective at getting people to slow down. One question coming from these municipalities, by the way, this letter led by the mayors of Burlington and Brampton, they're saying, will you reimburse us for, breaking these contracts that we have with these speed enforcement camera companies? And the premier saying, no, you could use some of the millions of dollars that you've collected from these speed cameras, basically, to pay for some of that. We did hear from the mayor of Burlington today. Here's some of what she has to say.
The proposal from Premier Ford, and I'm glad he's talking to us. He's my new pen pal. I will be writing a response for sure to the Premier. But the response, what he has basically said is that he's willing to tax people who obey the law, rather than making speeders pay for traffic calming measures, which is where this should sit. They should be paying. Speeders should be paying, not everyone else.
By the way, Mayor Olivia Chow did not sign on to that letter, but she has come out defending speed camera enforcement, saying that she's got a letter before City Council instead. That's how she's expressing her point of view in all of this. By the way, Arda and Bakari, where I am right now, Parkside Drive, the speed camera behind me here, not sending out tickets at this point. This is the one that's been the target of vandalism some 7 times in less than a year. Currently not operating since the last time it was vandalized last month. It's handed out tens of thousands of tickets worth millions of dollars in fines. And certainly people who aren't fans of the speed cameras have taken their frustration out on ones like this one behind me here. For now, I'm going to toss it back to you.
Okay, live along Parkside, CP24's Melissa Duggan. It's 5:22, 16 degrees. This is Live at 5.
The Jays are being called Canada's team coming up. Even the Leafs are cheering on the team as they get ready to open their own season. That's coming up. We'll be right back.
Vladdy's Grand Slam, it was the first in the Jays' postseason history. But listen, it also made the record books for a different reason, Arda.
He hits this ball a long way to right. Back it goes. Back. Gone.
Like father, like son, the Blue Jays sharing this on Instagram with Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s Grand Slam. He and his dad are now the first father-son duo to hit postseason Grand Slams in the MLB. Vladimir Guerrero Sr. did it back in 2004 when he hit a game-tying Grand Slam for the LA Angels against the Boston Red Sox. What a cool record.
Well, this is pretty cool as well. Two Toronto siblings and baseball enthusiasts. They're already living their childhood dreams of interviewing MLB players.
How does it feel to play on the Jays?
Feel amazing. Feel amazing, especially for you guys. This feel amazing.
Who's out there who see you as their hero and want to hit like you? What would your advice to them? How does it feel to play on the Jays?
Look at these kids getting interviews that we can't even get. 10-year-old Hugo and 8-year-old Meredith joined us this morning on CP24 Breakfast with more as the Jays get set for Game 3 against the Yankees.
When I was old enough to go to games, I wanted to talk to real-life baseball players, and I thought interviewing would be a very nice chance to talking to MLB players. So that's how we got the idea of interviewing.
How old were you when you were old enough?
Probably 5 or.
Oh, so you've been doing this for a few years?
No, like
we
were. I was 5. When I was 5, I was old enough to go to games. Okay. But then we started interviewing when I was like 8.
Me and my sister have both learned a lot from all of the baseball players, but I'd say the most memorable thing that they've told us is from Vladdy when we asked him if you could have, what would your advice to the kids be? He said to believe in God, to listen to your parents, and to play hard every time. That's probably the best piece of advice I've ever gotten.
Listen to your parents. I like it. The kids are even working on learning Spanish so they can interview players who don't speak English.
Okay, so everybody is on board supporting the Jays. Even the Leafs, they released a video showing their support for the Jays.
What do you want? Let's play ball. Okay. Blue Jays. Let's play ball. Okay.
Okay, that's pretty cute. Several Leafs players were spotted at the Dome over the weekend to cheer on their baseball counterparts. The Leafs open their season tomorrow at home against the Habs, and fans are hoping the Jays' playoff vibes are contagious. I think so.
I don't think they want to hear that the video's cute.
It's cute.
Cool. Cool. All right, it's 5:28, 16 degrees. This is Live at 5.
A live look inside Yankee Stadium right now in the Bronx, where the Jays are getting ready for Game 3 of the ALDS. We'll take you live to New York. Next, coming up, Phil Perkins is there. Stay with us. We're live in New York, where the Jays will take on the Yankees tonight in Game 3 of the ALDS, and they have a chance to sweep the series.
We're also live outside the home of the Jays. We're going to check in with how Toronto fans are feeling ahead of the big game.
The answer is no. Premier Doug Ford has responded to a letter from more than 20 mayors urging him to reconsider banning speed cameras.
This is Live at 5. Good evening. I'm Bakari Savage.
And I'm Arda Zakarian. Welcome to Live at 5.
Jays can clinch the ALDS tonight in New York, marking their first trip to the next round of the playoffs since 2015.
And we've got full team coverage with CP24's Beatrice Baseman outside the Rogers Center and Phil Perkins live inside Yankee Stadium. Phil, let's start with you. How's it feeling there?
It is electric. Now, I went to a game 1 in the ALDS Blue Jays Yankees, and there was a good amount of people. But here at Yankee Stadium, you got to remember, this is the media capital of the world. And anybody who has an outlet in New York is here. Every network, whether it's ESPN, MLB Network, everybody is here right now. Heck, we're here. Throughout the morning, you had 3 Canadian outlets just outside in the concourse here out in Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, because this is just a massive game, as we mentioned. The Blue Jays are 1 win away from sweeping the New York Yankees in their first ever matchup in the playoffs. Over 738 games these teams have played against each other. They have never faced each other in the playoffs, and the Blue Jays are acting like this is not a big deal whatsoever. Again, 1 win away from the sweep, and we now know who is starting for the Blue Jays. George Springer, who is a Connecticut guy, also half Puerto Rican, massive Puerto Rican community here in New York, in particular in the Bronx. They're going to be cheering for the Yankees and also for Springer. We also have David Schneider, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., massive Dominican community here in New York, also in particular in the Bronx. Alejandro Kirk, Dalton Varsho, Ernie Clement, Anthony Santander, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, Andres Jimenez. They'll be getting to start. Addison Barger, he is not getting to start, neither is Miles Straw. They were at batting practice today, and I got to tell you, they're treating Yankee Stadium like they're at the Rogers Center. As you can hear music playing over my little spiel here, that's because it's the Yankees at batting practice. They're allowed to control the audio here. Blue Jays had none of that, so they put matters literally in their own hands. They had a portable Bluetooth speaker. It was half the size of me, and they were playing Taylor Swift, Chapel Roan. The security staff here at Yankee Stadium were not fans of that, but Blue Jays didn't care. They were out here putting in the work to their own tunes, and they're ready for game day, no doubt. We heard from David Schneider as well as Aaron Boone, coach with the New York Yankees, heading into this massive game.
You're not just playing for a city, you're playing for a whole country, and there's so many fans out there that support the Blue Jays, and not even just in Canada, but in the U.S. There's so many more Blue Jays fans than I ever thought of. I'll be in Florida or back home in New Jersey, and there's a random Blue Jays fan. And it's ironic, growing up in '93, the Blue Jays beat the Phillies, and people hate Mitch Williams more than they hate Joe Carter back where I'm from. So, but it's just kind of cool to be part of just a great franchise.
I trust in these guys and their, in their preparation and readiness and confidence that they're going to walk out there regardless of result. We're walking out there tonight expecting to win a game and expecting to be successful, and that's as far as our focus is, though, right now, is just keeping it small, go out there, win pitches, win innings, and hopefully force it to tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely got to play the basics. And you know what? The Yankees do have stats on their side. When it comes to potential elimination games, the Yankees have won 10 out of their last 13. That dates back to 2017. So again, caged animal, cornered animal, that's exactly who the New York Yankees are right now in their own home. They're going to have some home cooking. We're about to step outside Yankee Stadium after Live at 5 just to see what the vibes are like, and we'll bring that to you. Back to you guys.
Okay, CP24's Phil Perkins live in New York, the Bronx, Yankee Stadium. Live coverage all evening and night. Okay, for Jays fans who cannot make it to the Bronx to watch Game 3 at Yankee Stadium, you're going to be cheering on the Jays closer to home. For that, let's go live to CP24's Beatrice Vaisman outside Rogers Center.
Bakari, the feeling right now around the Dome, it's muted, of course. The Jays are away there with Phil out in the Bronx, so not a lot of activity around the Dome, but certainly you're seeing a lot of the Jays gear, the blue and white, all around the city today. And you can imagine what the city's going to be like 2.5 hours from now as we get closer to first pitch. That's coming up at 8:08 tonight. The bars, the restaurants, anywhere in the city where there's a TV inside an establishment, you can bet that if they want to be making some money tonight, they're going to be playing the Blue Jays on the big screen, because that's what everyone's eyes are going to be glued to, especially after the performance these guys put on here at the Dome over the weekend, where 44,000 fans strong were on their feet shaking the stadium, especially after home run after home run after home run, and of course that big grand slam from Vladimir Guerrero Jr. A lot of fans inside, of course, they just had goosebumps. They knew they were witnessing history. Trey Savage, of course, out there performing just a massive showing from him. I talked to one guy out here earlier who made a custom custom jersey with Savage's number. His jerseys aren't actually for sale at the Jays store yet. That's how new he is. Just 4 games in the major leagues before that big showing. And so they don't have his jerseys. But fans are already noticing. They love this guy. They want to root for this guy. And, of course, they're rooting for Shane Bieber as well. I mean, Phil Perkins touched on Bieber, Cy Young Award winner, brought in by the Jays just a few months ago in that big trade coming in from Tommy John surgery. He's a veteran, and the Jays are hoping, of course, that he's got the nerve that it's going to take to stand there on the mound in Yankee Stadium getting booed by Yankees fans and to keep throwing those strikes. Let's get Aaron Judge out of there. I mean, he hasn't been that effective when it comes to the postseason, but let's make him non-effective once again today. But this is Canada's team, as you heard that player saying, this is Canada's team. I've met people here visiting Toronto from all across the country, from PEI to the Maritimes, to New Brunswick, out to Ottawa, and out to the West Coast, and everyone's just unequivocal. This is Canada's team. The whole country is behind them, and so here's a bit of that fan reaction.
The city is buzzing, so I actually live right by the stadium, so you kind of hear the cheers when like something happens, so it's been really exciting. I'm like, I kind of don't really watch during the regular season, but the fact that they're doing so well is really exciting and it's fun to watch, and I find myself kind of jumping up and down when they get a home run, so I'm excited to see how everything pans out.
So, I can get very emotional about it, but I really think they're great. They get along great. They're so fun, and they don't let each other down.
They mean a lot to the country. We're from the Maritimes, and everybody back home cheers for the Blue Jays right now.
And who isn't cheering for the Blue Jays? I mean, you heard that dad there from the Maritimes. Everyone there is cheering for this team. They've got the entire nation right behind them. The Jays swag, it is flying off the shelves. Our camera operator, Matt, getting one of these bad boys earlier today. And you can bet anywhere you walk around the city, any bar you go to tonight, you'll be seeing lots and lots of these as Toronto fans, Canadian fans cheer on the boys of summer who are now playing baseball in October. Imagine that. It's been a long time since we've seen it. Go Jays, go.
You bet. Go Jays, go. Thank you so much for this, Beatrice. And Mississauga is hosting a viewing party for the Blue Jays tonight.
Yeah, fans are invited to watch the game on big screens in Celebration Square, which has been renamed the Bird's Nest for the Jays playoff run. Tonight's game starts at 8 o'clock.
And Jays fans in Brampton can also watch the game. It's being shown in Garden Square at Queen Street and Main Street, and admission is free.
Right now it's 5:39, 16 degrees. Let's get a check on the commute with CP24 traffic specialist Adjoa Nsiaya-Bois.
Yeah, if you're making your way out and maybe you're headed to a bar maybe to watch a Jays game, it might take you a while if you're on the QEW heading into Burlington. Problems happening now on the Niagara lanes of the QEW. This is right through Guelph line. It is the 2 right lanes blocked. You have rain coming down as well, so it's impacting and slowing down the drive. Again, very, very busy and backed up from Ford Drive. Headed towards the southbound Don Valley Parkway, still watching this ongoing collision. Just the one vehicle remains. There was more vehicles involved in this. The southbound DVP south of Eglinton. It's in the right lane, this collision is. Also, another collision involving a transport. This is the westbound 401 approaching the 400. Find the right lane and shoulder occupied. And if your travels take you on to the 400 northbound, no rain, but problems await you. Northbound 400 in the express just through Highway 7. Looks like this collision is still there blocking the right lane. Getting word of a police investigation taking place on Bremner. Westbound lanes closed at York, right in the heart of the downtown core. And as well, we still are dealing with that collision involving a pedestrian if you're traveling out through Burlington in the area just around Branton Fairview. An area you want to avoid, I'll send it back to you both. Go Jays, go.
Go Jays, go. Thank you so much for this, Adra. 5:40, 16 degrees. This is Live at 5.
And coming up, police make an arrest in 7 shootings targeting homes in Vaughan, Brampton, and London all this summer. An Innisfil man is now facing charges in 7 shootings targeting homes in the GTA and London this summer.
And police say 125 shots were fired during those incidents. Let's go live to CP24's crime analyst, Steve Ryan, who's in a Vaughan neighborhood where those shots were fired. Steve, what more can you tell us?
Well, police tell us today that they have charged Kajan, Isaiah Doman with a variety of firearms offenses relating to 7 shootings at homes that not only resulted that were here in the GTA, but also as far west as London. So the last one right now that the police believe this 23-year-old did occurred here on Lady Angela Lane in Vaughan on September the 10th. The allegations are that this 23-year-old fired at a home here on Lady Angela Lane. There was a brief foot pursuit, and police were able to apprehend this 23-year-old and seize a firearm. Now, I'll explain on the other end of this clip just how important the seizure of that firearm was in order for the police to connect 7 shootings to this one firearm. But here's more from the officer in charge, the detective sergeant, who I spoke with earlier on today with regards to this investigation. Here's what he said.
On September 10th, the investigators from our hold-up unit arrested a male party in relation to a shooting that occurred in the area of Bathurst and Tesson Road in the city of Vaughan. Through our ongoing investigation over the past several weeks, we've linked that individual to a number of shootings throughout the GTA and out towards London. So on October 3rd, that individual had his charges upgraded. We have now charged him in relation to 7 shootings that have occurred in London region, and Peel region, and in York region. So there were 4 shootings in Vaughan, 2 in Peel region, and 1 in London that we've connected to this individual that was arrested on September the 10th.
Other scenes, a gun leaves a fingerprint when it discharges the cartridge, and as a result, if they have identified cartridges or ballistic evidence that matches the same gun, all the police need to prove is that this guy was either in the area of those other shootings or was in possession of that firearm, and that's how they were able to connect all 7 of these shootings to this one individual. I'll send it back to you guys.
Okay, live in Vaughan, CP24's crime analyst Steve Ryan. Well, it is deadline day for Marineland.
The cash-strapped tourist attraction in Niagara Falls requested emergency funding from Ottawa to help care for its 30 remaining beluga whales. The federal government recently denied export permits for Marineland to send the whales to an aquarium in China. The park says it has no options left to move the whales, and without financial help, it may have to euthanize them.
And Premier Ford spoke at Queen's Park today saying that he hopes Ottawa intervenes in the Marineland crisis.
Marineland is privately owned. Now the federal government declined a permit to move them and allow these whales to live a better life. And I would recommend to the federal government, reverse your decision and let's find a home that would be great for the whales.
And Fisheries Minister Joanne Thompson calls the emergency funding request, quote, inappropriate, and says that Marineland is responsible for caring for the belugas.
A major DVP ramp is set to close next week for repair work.
Yeah, the city says that the southbound ramp from the DVP to Richmond Street, that's going to be closed until spring of 2026 for rehabilitation of the ramp structure. So to accommodate the work, the city says one eastbound lane is going to be closed on Eastern Avenue. Richmond Street is going to be reduced to one westbound lane at Eastern Avenue. And there's also going to be intermittent overnight lane closures on the DVP. The closure, that's set to begin next Wednesday.
City officials say they are taking steps to manage traffic congestion while the work is underway.
We've accelerated this project with additional crews and working through the winter to get things moving faster and to minimize the disruption to traffic and also be ready for the World Cup. We appreciate everybody's patience and as we work through this essential contract.
During the design phase, we modeled traffic simulation model, I should say, this project, specifically for the purposes of trying to understand the potential traffic impacts and to help identify the traffic management strategies that would be most effective. So to help keep traffic moving, we'll be putting measures in place that include putting advanced warning signs on major roads, including on the DVP, suspending all non-emergency utility and street work on key routes to keep as many lanes of traffic open as possible. We'll be adjusting our traffic signal timings across the wide area, and we will be monitoring and adjusting those traffic signal timings throughout the duration of the project.
And again, that traffic closure is set to begin next Wednesday, lasting until 2026.
It's now 5:48, 16 degrees. This is Live at 5.
Mark Carney and Donald Trump, they sat down today at the White House. We're going to have more on their high-stakes meeting next.
Welcome back. Prime Minister Mark Carney and U.S. President Donald Trump have wrapped up a 2.5-hour meeting at the White House today.
It was the second high-stakes in-person meeting between Carney and Trump since May. The two have been in frequent contact as they work to hash out a new economic and security deal. They spoke from the Oval Office this afternoon.
You kindly hosted me and some of my colleagues a few months ago, and I said at the time you were are a transformative president. And since then, the transformation in the economy, unprecedented commitments of NATO partners to defense spending, peace from India, Pakistan through to Azerbaijan, Armenia, disabling Iran as a force of terror, and now, and I'm running out of time, but this is in many respects the most important.
The merger of Canada and the United States.
That wasn't where I was going.
Will Mr. Carney be leaving Washington with a deal on tariffs?
I think they're going to be very happy. We have a lot of things that we're working on that people don't talk about. They talk about, competitiveness. He's a very competitive person. And they talk about things that we don't necessarily agree on. But I think they're going to walk away very happy. I think so.
The Prime Minister left the White House shortly after 2:30 this afternoon after a working luncheon with Trump and delegates.
Right now it's 5:52, 16 degrees. This is Live at 5.
Here's a live look inside Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, where the Jays are getting ready for Game 3 of the ALDS. We'll take you live to New York. Coming up next, stay with us. Back to our top story. The Jays can clinch the ALDS tonight in New York. Our Phil Perkins is live inside Yankee Stadium. Phil, there's just a little more than 2 hours left until the first pitch. We cannot wait.
Oh, I can't wait either. The beats are now pumping through New Yankee Stadium. The Blue Jays are doing some fielding drills, and they're going to do some batting practice as well. The Blue Jays, they've been here since Sunday night. After that blowout Game 2 victory, they've really been making Yankee Stadium their home. They've been working out here. They've had their boombox just blowing up Taylor Swift during their initial batting practice. You can see they have several of the coaches here doing some fielding drills right now. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. rocking an awesome sleeveless shirt. I need to find that. Don Mattingly, of course, who used to manage the New York Yankees, and now making homecoming here in a must-win game for his former club. The Toronto Blue Jays, as Arda mentioned, one win away from punching their ticket to the ALCS. Teams that are up 2-0 in a best-of-5 end up advancing almost 89% of the time. Here's manager John Schneider, as well as a pair of Canadians.
You know, I think we're just focused on playing our game, really, and I think that we're confident when we're playing our game. And we know it was a good weekend at home, and this is still, we're treating this as if it's 0-0 series. You know, you can't take your foot off the gas. I think we do a really good job of kind of worrying about what is important to us, and that's kind of how we've done it all year. It's kind of how we've gotten here. So it's a tight-knit group. I think that they're just going to continue to worry about them.
I'm a little bit nervous because for hockey, when I'm going to Boston or Philadelphia, if you have a shirt from the other team, we have a beer shower. So I expect a beer shower for tonight, but it's okay.
You're actually a Blue Jays fan.
I am a Blue Jays fan. And
but you're wearing a Yankees hat.
I am.
Are you going to wear it inside?
Yeah. Maybe.
Why?
Because I heard the fans get pretty hostile.
What are you expecting from the fans in there?
I think the fans be pretty. They'll be pretty loud until about halfway when Vladdy hits his home run, and it's going to quiet the fans down quite a bit, I think.
Jays are going to win?
Jays are going to win.
And this guy could be a big part of any Jays win. That's George Springer, Connecticut guy. Somewhat of a homecoming for him. Of course, he had his home run in that massive Game 2. The Blue Jays, first pitch, 8:08. I have yet to step outside Yankee Stadium as we inch closer to that first pitch. I cannot wait to bring you the scenes around the stadium, around the bars, talking to fans, both Yankees and Blue Jays. And of course, we'll have updates for you every 30 minutes. I'm going to be going from the press box, running outside to outside Yankee Stadium to give you all the updates, and maybe some, if it's like Game 2, maybe some Yankee fans start dipping, in the 6th or 7th inning. And then figure it out. Hey, miss, are the Yankees winning? Yankees winning or Blue Jays winning? What do you think?
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
She doesn't know?
I'm going to say Yankees one game.
Yankees going to maybe take one game. Okay, there's so much media here, guys. It's like a media circus here. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll send it back to you guys. Go, Jays, go.
Thank you so much for this, Phil. Phil, so one of the clips said the Yankees fans are a little hostile. Have you experienced anything?
They're nice. They're nice. Honestly, well, but it hasn't been game time. That was like 8 in the morning. And, no one actually went to work and got, upset at their boss. That's when you go to sports and let it all out. But we're also not wearing any Toronto paraphernalia, so you don't know what's going to happen.
All right. Live from Yankee Stadium, CP24's Phil Perkins. Thanks a lot. Well, it's 5:59, 16 degrees. This is Toronto's breaking news, CP24. Thank you for watching. CTV News at 6 is next.